Welcome to Portland, Oregon on a beautiful early fall Sunday in the Rose City as you look at the Hawthorne Bridge running across to downtown Portland here in the Rose City as Portland Timbers 2 is set to welcome Tulsa Roughnecks FC to town for their lone trip to Providence Park. And with that, let's take a look at the standings in USL's Western Conference. Portland Timbers 2 finds themselves in good position in 5th place right now, but would certainly love to jump into that top 4. Can take a big step towards that if they were able to get 3 points today against a Tulsa team that sits well outside of the playoff picture at this point. And with that, we welcome you into the broadcast booth alongside two-time MLS Cup champion and former Portland Timbers defender Nat Borchers. I'm Fletcher Johnson. Nat, for Portland Timbers 2, great momentum they've been carrying recently, looking to continue that here this afternoon.
Yeah, certainly, and it's been feast or famine for this team. They started the year off in good form, 8 wins in their first few games, and then struggled midseason, 4 losses in a row, and now they're feasting again, and they've been playing very good soccer, scoring a lot of goals and defending very well.
Starting today, 4 of the last 6 opponents for Portland are outside of playoff position looking in, so great opportunity for Portland to pick up points. Meanwhile, for Tulsa Roughnecks FC, a club that's really struggled since changing managers at the midpoint of the season, late June, and we'll look to play spoiler this afternoon.
Yeah, and they haven't got a road win the whole season, and for me, that S2 game midweek epitomizes this team. They were up 4-1. They gave up 3 late goals to tie the game. Don't come away with anything other than 1 point, so it's a team certainly that T2 can get on top of, and they need to get it on top of them early.
We look at our players to watch. We'll start off with T2. Renzo Zambrano set up Victor Arboleda last week for the game winner and has played well as of late.
He's been an important player for this T2 team, and you look at that vision he has to play that pass, and Arboleda with the speed to get to that ball and put it in the back of the net. What a huge goal that was for T2.
A 93rd minute goal for Victor Arboleda as you look at Zambrano, the middleman in your screen there. 2 goals and 3 assists in 25 games, but has a goal or assist in the last 4 games for T2. Meanwhile, for Tulsa Roughnecks FC, it's Jesus Ferreira, the son of David Ferreira, who played for FC Dallas back in the day. He has 6 goals on just 12 shots this year.
And he shares a lot of the characteristics that his dad had in his movement off of the ball. He plays off of the center backs, has very good movement in the box, and he's a clinical finisher. Watch for him inside that box, getting on to into things.
This is the second and final matchup between Portland Timbers 2 and Tulsa Roughnecks FC this season. They met back on April 4th, a scoreless draw that was huge for Cameron Knowles' side early on in the season, and they started with so many on the road. So we'll see if Portland can get the job done here at Providence Park this afternoon and continue building that momentum into the final 5 matches of the regular season after today. We'll get you starting lineups and opening kickoff from Providence Park coming up after this.
Diving stop by Gomez.
And a goal! What a finish. Saved by Weaker. Khalees 3 and it's in. And a goal! Chandler Hoffman. That's a goal by Michael. Big save, Connor Sparrow. Save, Fennelson.
Is going to be on every highlight reel.
And welcome back to Providence Park as we are just about set for Portland Timbers 2 and Tulsa Roughnecks FC here on a sunny afternoon, mid-70s here in Portland, Oregon today. And with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the starting lineup for Portland Timbers 2. 5 changes from the side that beat St. Louis last Saturday. See Alex Mangles, Bill Tuiloma getting his second start in the last 12 matches. And then obviously the man up top, Foster Langsdorff, tied for 5th in USL with 14 goals.
And look for Bill Tuiloma really to anchor that back line. And I really like about this guy is that he can hit that long ball, that switching diagonal ball that can really shift the defense.
Portland Timbers 2, of course, led by Cameron Knowles in his first season, 14, 11, and 3. Has helped this team really turn things around from a season ago, assisted there by Andrew Greger and Aiden Brown. But Cameron Knowles has really brought a renewed energy to this side here in 2018. Meanwhile, for Tulsa Roughnecks FC, they will put out a lineup that sees 3 changes from their last match. 4-4-1-1 in some senses, depending on how you look at it. Chase Gentry gets the start in goal. Nemanja Vukovic out on the left will provide some attack, and then Eti Tavares has started every match since manager Michael Insean took over.
Yeah, and look for Vukovic, who is a converted center back, to get those early crosses in. He's got a very dangerous left foot, so T2 is going to have to be wary of that. And I really like Eti Tavares in terms of his width. He gives Tulsa a lot of width out there on the wing, and he can fly up and down that channel.
We mentioned the manager for Tulsa, Michael Insean, is 2-5-4 since taking over on June 25th of this year. He grew up in Tulsa, was a standout player locally, went to college at Dayton, was an all-conference pick. And in addition to his role here, he's also the director of coaching for Tulsa Soccer Club and the founder-director of Tulsa Soccer Academy. And he is assisted by Donovan Ricketts, former Portland Timbers goalkeeper as well. So some familiar faces in the building here as we are just about set for opening kickoff here from Providence Park. As we mentioned, Portland Timbers to 14-11-3 on 45 points in 5th place in the Western Conference. Tulsa Roughnecks FC 2-13-11 on 17 points, last place in the Western Conference. The whistle blows from our head referee Alejandro Mariscal, and we are underway from Providence Park here in Portland, Oregon. Fletcher Johnson and Nat Borchers here with you this afternoon as the pass goes back to Mangles and he clears to midfield.
Initially already seeing, Fletcher, the pressure that Tulsa is going to put on this T2 back line. They did it really well against S2. They created a lot of opportunities, especially in that transition. They'd win the ball and they would break straight to goal. Obviously had a fairly successful night attacking-wise against S2 with 4 goals.
Gloria draws the early foul. This is the 7th all-time meeting between T2 and Tulsa Roughnecks FC, with Portland leading the all-time series 3-1-2. As the lone win came for Tulsa back on May 27th of 2017, 3-1 at 1 OK Field. Diver on Espria with the dyed blonde hair maintains possession. Smith will send it in. Langsdorff attacks, but easy stuff for Chase Gentry. We mentioned Tulsa struggles on the road this year. A side that in their last 6 matches will play teams 4 through 9 in the Western Conference. So a real chance to play spoiler, despite they themselves being out of the playoff discussion really at this point in the year.
It's an interesting position to be in as a team. You're obviously not going to be in the playoffs. You're not going to be playing for that big prize at the end, but you still have that pride, still have that opportunity to come in and change outcomes for different teams. So interesting situation to be in. Insean, as the manager, obviously going to be very aware of that.
Zambrano dispossessed. Chance in the box for Tulsa, and an important block from Andre Lewis. Tulsa still with it, and cleared away by Bill Tuiloma. Not quite enough on that one from Gamble. And an early opportunity for Tulsa to get on the board.
Yeah, wonderful play down there from Andre Lewis to track back there off the giveaway. Bit concerning for T2 to give away an early chance like that, but fortunate not to give one up.
Tuiloma in the right place at the right time there on the back end of that opportunity. Mentioned making just his 2nd start in the last 13 matches for T2. Bill Tuiloma, the Christchurch, New Zealand native, just 22 years old. Spent some time in Ligue 1 in France. Espria with a high press to win possession. Eventually cleared away by Tulsa. It's Farfan, the Gresham, Oregon native, down the far side. Portland this season 6-2-0 at Providence Park. Really have enjoyed themselves here in this building. Most recently, that late game winner from Victor Arboleda. It's his first appearance in a few months for Portland.
And we'll see again here. It's just dispossessed there. Zambrano thinks there's a foul there. Is obviously not. It's a good through ball there. A good chance on goal from Tulsa, but look at Lewis coming back, tracking back, making the big play, and then it's another chance on goal from Tulsa. And fortunately, not enough on that ball to worry Mangles, but some worrying times early on for the defense back there at T2.
Zambrano fouls Merkovich.
And we've talked, Fletcher, about how important it is for this team to get a good start. And we've seen games where they've had good starts. They've gotten goals early, and they've really been able to get on the front foot in the game. And then games when they struggled, they've obviously not done well in these early moments. So I expect them to have a good start. Obviously, they gave up that chance, but bringing that momentum from this last game, they were able to get 3 points against St. Louis late. They need to keep that momentum going, bring it into this game, and this is very important.
Great touch by Loria with his unfavored right foot, and then works himself around the defender, finds Asprilla, who just can't turn it on frame and puts it wide of Gentry's left post.
And you see Loria here with his speed, just flies by Munoz, the center back, gets all the way down and gets his head up, finds Asprilla at the back post. Asprilla is just a step off there from Asprilla, but it's a fantastic run there from Loria, just really exposing that back line. They like to play a high back line, this Tulsa defense, and I think that there's going to be a lot of room for these fast players like Asprilla and guys like Arboleda off the bench, and certainly Loria to get in behind.
His 49th chance created. Marvin Loria led the team coming in with 48 created in 25 appearances now for Portland. Also leads the team in assists with 6. As you look at Michael and Cian, both teams with a good opportunity in the first 5 minutes. Could be a sign of things to come in this match between these two sides. Smith taken down by Gamble. A foul called by Alejandro Mariscal.
And I think Loria, if you go back to that chance, just how good he is in open play. When the game gets stretched, when transition happens, he's just really good at accelerating and making good decisions on the ball. He's been a different dynamic, given this team a different dynamic, T2, especially since Victor Arboleda has left, and obviously he's now back.
And Brano not happy with the no call there. Wearing the captain's armband once again is Renzo Zambrano. Zambrano tied with Andre Lewis for the most appearances for T2 this season. Both players have appeared now in 26 matches for Cameron Knowles' side, and not two important positions, your two defensive midfielders. To have that consistency in those spots is huge in front of that back four.
Oh, it's massive, and you look at that pairing. It was initially Eric Williamson back next to Renzo Zambrano. Then Lewis stepped in, and he's done a nice job back there, just being consistent, making plays, being good on the ball. And I think that you have to have those guys with a good dynamic if you want to have a good foundation defensively.
Here's Tavares defended by Farfan. Lewis comes over to help, plays central. Switch the point of attack. Covarrubias out to touch.
Nice touch there from Lewis. And I think that we've seen him grow a lot as a player this year. I don't think he had a ton of confidence last year. He was still kind of trying to grow into this role as a holding central midfielder, but he's grown a lot as a player. We've seen him make a lot of big plays, and you can see that last touch he had. A lot of confidence with him right now.
Here's now Farfan against Tayu. Sent into the box. Cleared away by Vukovic. Blocked though. And now Morton forced to just clear out to touch. Portland doing well to sustain some buildup here.
Yeah, we'll see a nice entry ball there, and then getting the ball wide from Loria. Farfan able to get the ball on his left foot. Nice cross in. Not a great clear there from Tulsa, and then Loria at the top of the box with a nice strike.
Tuiloma sprays it out wide for Barbie, who chests down in front of Tayu. Uzi Tayu, whose brother Frank plays for Fresno FC in USL. Forces the ball back to Lewis. Farfan through for Loria. Nifty little back heel trying to find Langsdorf, and cleared away by Covarrubias.
I really like this movement for this front four, front five for T2 right now. A lot of good movement, a lot of working off each other, a lot of passing lanes being found right now. This is going to have to continue, and there's going to be some good chances coming from this.
Portland with the high press, trying to win it back, and well done by Tulsa to break that high press. Now to Tavares, defended by Farfan. Barmby back to help. Tavares will run at Farfan. The 19-year-old does well to force Tavares to play it back. Bit of miscommunication leads to a turnover, and here comes Portland. Barmby now to Loria. We're used to seeing Marvin Loria play on the outside left or right, but starting in that central role today. Eric Williamson was loaned out a couple weeks ago, left a hole there, and now Loria playing in that central role as this ball finds Barmby on the outside. First time cross blocked away by Tayu.
Yeah, I really like Loria in this role. It gives him the freedom to roam around, to find spaces on the left side, on the right side, find spaces centrally. He is such a good player when he's able to get the ball, turn and run at players, and I think that this gives him a lot of freedom to find those spaces he needs.
Ball knocked out by Tavares for a T2 throw. And another throw closer to the corner flag this time. Today wraps up a 5-match road stretch for Tulsa, as they will play 5 of their last 6 at home now, as well as Portland earns the first corner kick of the match in the 11th minute.
You have to think that Tulsa is just a little bit banged up. Only 5 players on the substitutions bench. Obviously, they've had a lot of games in this road trip. They're probably looking to maybe eke one out towards the end of it and get back home.
Loria will send it in. Finds the head of Foster Langsdorf. No, Bill Tuiloma puts it in the back of the net, and Portland is up 1-0 in the 12th minute.
And this is just a fantastic delivery from Loria. Finds that near post, and Bill Tuiloma just rises up and hammers it home. Look at the technique here. He gets up and he just smashes that ball down with his forehead. Chin to chest, wonderful technique, great goal. T2 up, 1-0.
So Tuiloma with the goal, and Portland with the lead in the 12th minute. Obviously huge to get that first goal. T2 11-3-1 when scoring first. Meanwhile, for Tulsa, when their opponent scores first, they are 1-11-2. So a huge early goal in this match for Portland. And it was one of the interesting talking points coming into this match, Nat, is Portland, how would they be able to play in a match in which they are expected to win? They're expected to carry some of the energy and possession in this game. They've done well here in the first just under quarter hour.
Yeah, they've done a very good job. The pressure has been very good. The movement has been very good. The energy, though, has been very good. And it seems like these guys are fresh. They're hungry. And there's been 5 changes in this lineup. As we see the replay on this goal, again, fantastic ball to the near post. It's a curling in-swinger. And Tuiloma just in the right place gets up and smashes that thing home. I like that he just gets that ball down. Gives the goalkeeper absolutely no chance, Chase Gentry, to make the save.
His first goal for T2 this season in his 4th appearance.
But you think about how hard it is for Cam Knowles. He's being asked week to week to take teammates from the Timbers team integrate them into his team, T2, and make it all work together. Whereas a team like Tulsa, they have the same regulars day in, day out. So you have to think that the job is much more difficult for Cam Knowles than it is for a lot of coaches. But he's done a fantastic job of integrating these guys, of making sure they have the same belief. They understand their roles. They understand what they have to do on set pieces, and bringing in guys like Tui Loma, who obviously are making a big impact on the game.
You talk about what makes a successful team. You obviously need to be able to put the ball in the back of the net. That was the 50th goal of the season for T2. And the 50th goal came from the 17th different player this season to score, as that one hits side netting from Tavares. Audacious attempt from a tight angle. Did threaten Mangles a bit, who was diving, but in the end was not going to be able to put it in.
I think T2 needs to be a bit careful here, Fletcher. Tulsa has done a nice job of finding those gaps, those angles in and behind Jack Barmby on that far side touchline, and it just seems like Andre Lewis is having some difficulty rotating out there to help, and Tavares is getting a lot of space. So I think they have to be very careful in terms of how stretched they get in their attacking end.
Foul called on Asprilla right at the midfield stripe. Well, it's been an issue for Tulsa all season long. They've allowed the third most goals in USL this season with 58 coming into today. That's the 59th that they've allowed. They just average about over a goal a game with 29 on the season, but have given up double that so far this year. Has led to the woes that they've incurred here throughout the course of 2018. As Langsdorff plays the overlapping run from Farfan, first time cross in, can't reach Laurie as it's cleared away by Morton.
One thing that stands out to me in terms of defensive shape is they want to play in two banks of four, as a back line of four and a midfield four, but then entry balls, it just seems like it's too easy sometimes to find those entry passes.
Lewis works his way around Tayu, still on his feet, finds a spree at the penalty spot, lays it off for Langsdorff, takes the shot blocked by Morton. Asprilla gets it to Smith. Asprilla still in possession. Loria back to Asprilla. First touch just a little too heavy, and Gentry comes out to collect.
And this is well worked by Dairon Asprilla. You'll see here with Andre Lewis on the sideline. He's able to get there, get to the end line, and play a nice cross over the box. And it finds Asprilla, who is just under too much pressure. Ball gets bounced around a little bit, and then it's Asprilla again. He does such a nice job of keeping this play alive. He gets back on the ball, and he's able to play a nice 1-2 in the box. But some really good pressure there put on by T2 offensively.
Tulsa quickly came the other direction, but the left side of that T2 defense, Marco Farfan, Jack Barmby, slowed things down. And now here comes Tavares at Farfan again, and this time Farfan wins the throw.
And I think for Marco Farfan this year, it's been a bit of a struggle for him at times. And I think his 1v1 defending needs to be a bit better. And I think in a game like this is an excellent opportunity for him to challenge himself against the likes of Tavares and make sure that he's keeping him outside, making things predictable the way he's running.
Long switch from Merkovich over to Tavares. Tavares attacks Farfan, lays it off. Now into the box goes Gamble. He's dispossessed by Farfan, and T2 bring it the other direction. Before the excitement of the last 5 to 7 minutes, Nat, mentioning Tulsa coming in a bit short-handed. Their main goalkeeper, Fabian Serta, who's started 25 matches this year, suspended today due to yellow card accumulation, as well as their leading goal scorer, Joaquin Rivas, who's made 25 appearances, suspended for yellow card accumulation as well. He has 10 goals this year and has really been a stalwart for this Tulsa side the last couple seasons. So missing two big pieces are Tulsa here this afternoon.
Yeah, and it's obviously an opportunity for the T2 to capitalize on. And Rivas, if you watch him play, he plays in this outside midfield position as a winger, but he likes to come inside and combine and create with Gamble and with Vukovic. And for him not to be in this lineup, I'm going to be interested to see how well Dean does to step up and fill that role.
Worth noting as well that Paris Guy, player who leads this team in assists, is not in the starting 11 today. He's appeared in every single match for Tulsa this season. and has started all but 2 matches today. Just the 3rd time this year that he hasn't started, as Farfan cannot keep that ball in play from Lewis.
Yeah, you have to imagine Perisky not being in the lineup. Something to do with the rotation. Perhaps he picked up an injury or a knock midweek, but an important player for this Tulsa side for sure.
He is on the bench today. Tulsa did only bring 5 additional players, so it's a 16 instead of an 18 for Roughnecks FC.
It makes it difficult, though. If you're the manager, you're trying to make substitutions, make changes. You don't have a full squad to make those changes.
Espria in a foot race over Morton, puts it over the top, but Espria called for a foul by the near side official, Seth Martin. Espria shaking his head. Certainly have to take another look at that one, but right now we're back to action. Karuvubias.
Looks like Espria just clips the legs there of the defender. Not sure how much there was there. Espria is obviously claiming there's not much going on, but certainly tough foul to call.
That ball rolled across the end line before Tavares could handle it.
It seems like there's a lot of space right now, Fletcher, on this field. And I think that Tulsa are doing a good job of attacking down the left flank there of T2. And T2's got to be wary of it. Tavares really can fly. And they're finding a lot of gaps in that midfield in and around Andre Lewis and Renzo Zambrano.
Alejandro Mariscal looked at Dyron Espria during that last break, held up 3 fingers, saying that's already 3 times in which you've committed a foul or been involved in a situation. Kind of a way of Mariscal saying, calm down, otherwise I'm going to have to give you a caution.
Cool your jets, man. You got to be careful.
Langsdorff chases it down, lays it off for Smith, who tries to go back post for Barmby. It's headed away by Taiyu, but out for the 2nd corner kick of the afternoon for Portland. They scored on the first one. Will they be able to do it again? Already leading 1-0 thanks to a Bill Tuiloma header. Loria will once again send this one in. This time doesn't get it past Tavares, who heads it only as far as Farfan. Works his way through 2 defenders, takes the deflection, and the 3rd corner kick for Portland.
And look for Andre Lewis at the top of the box. He's not being picked up currently by any Tulsa players. He's got a ton of freedom right there. If the ball just drops to his feet after these players make a run, he's wide open.
Loria this time over the head of Espria, finds Lewis top of the box, redirected by Tuiloma. And right on cue, as that looked like it was controlled by the hand of Tavares. Here comes Lewis dribbling into the box, shouldered off the ball by Merkovich, who clears the gamble. Long switch over to the near side to Covarrubias. He gets it to DJ Dean, who is in an offside position. Mad scramble in the box a few moments ago for Portland.
Yeah, as you can see here, the ball just bounces up slightly. You can't really see it there, but it hits the left arm there of Tavares. The referee says he's seen it though, and he just said it's ball to arm. It's incidental contact, which I would argue the other way if I were T2, certainly.
Farfan's first time cross ends up in another corner kick for Portland.
And we'll take another look at this one here. As you see, his ball just kind of bounces back up. He knows nothing about it, to be fair, and I don't think he's going for it. He just mistimes his jump and misses the ball. So I think it's fair that the referee lets that play on.
Here comes Loria's cross. In, Tuiloma header off the crossbar.
And again, it is enticing service here from Loria just to get the ball in around and just in swinging into the box. You can see here Tuiloma just winning that battle against Taiyu, doing a great job there to get that one on goal. But the T2 is looking very dangerous on these set pieces, Fletch.
Marvin Loria is so dangerous when on his favored left foot. As Zambrano dispossesses Mirkovic. Zambrano back with it, now to Lewis. Mirkovic taking his time getting up. And out to Barmby. Barmby plays Farfan. Farfan finds Loria, and it's a second for T2. Marvin Loria has doubled Portland's lead in the 24th minute.
And this is just great build-up again from T2. It starts with Renzo Zambrano. He plays the ball to Lewis, who gets the ball wide, and Barmby with the hold-up play. Farfan making a nice run. He gets the ball all the way to the end line here, and just the cutback. Loria with a nice finish there. Goes in between the legs of Chase Gentry. Wonderful play here. Between the legs here, 5-hole. Between the legs there, 5-hole. That's 2 goals for T2. That's 2 assists for Marvin Loria.
And Marvin Loria picks up his 5th goal of the season, now tied for 2nd most on this Portland Timbers 2 squad. He has been a revelation since coming over on loan from Deportivo Saprissa down in Costa Rica. Was a Sports Center top 10 play number 5 for his goal against Orange County. Had a goal and 2 assists against LA Galaxy 2 way back in May. And has been dangerous time and time again. Covarrubias takes a shot, and wide of Mangle's net, ends up in a goal kick. But again, immediately after a T2 goal, Tulsa comes the other way, creates a good opportunity.
And it's more of the same here. They're just finding that space in between the lines, just to the left. And then you can see here with the nice run here, Covarrubias. Nice shot. He's looking for that far post. It never really threatens Mangles, but they're really doing a nice job of finding that space in between the lines next to Andre Lewis. And then that player, it's usually Gamble. He's turning and he's playing wide to Tavares. Tavares is 1v1 a lot of times against Farfan.
The USL's official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league 24/7. Follow @USL on Twitter.
And I got Loria's number wrong. I said 2 assists. He's got a goal and an assist. Obviously, he scored that last goal. Wonderful finish from him again.
Smith knocks it off of Vukovic. Ends up at the feet of Tavares. Tavares still with it. Eti Tavares has started every match since the new manager, Michael Encian, took over. Now Ferreira. Mirkovic and Vukovic. Farfan looked like he might have pushed Ferreira down. Gamble's shot blocked by Mojadama. And Asprilla will carry the other direction. Asprilla can't quite work his way around Covarrubias, but it does end up in a throw for Portland. Morton beats out Langsdorff.
And Tulsa really applying some good pressure to T2 here. We'll see Vukovic on a nice cross in-swinging ball. Really test that back line there, and a little bit of contact there from Farfan. Referee decides not enough to call a penalty.
Zambrano not afraid to get in on some challenges. He went in for that ball with Jesus Ferreira, who is now down on his knees. Was holding the right side of his back and remains in a squatting position. We'll see if Tulsa plays it out, and they do. So Ferreira and Zambrano went in on that challenge, and Ferreira has not gotten up since.
Well, we've seen a slight tactical change here from T2. Tharon Asprilla has flipped sides. He's gone from the right side to the left side, flipped sides with Barmby. I think just to give a little bit more structure to that left side to help out a little bit more on Farfan's side, because Tavares is doing a nice job of getting that width for Tulsa and really being dangerous 1v1 against Farfan. So hopefully Asprilla now can come back a little bit more and help Farfan out defensively.
This would be a big time loss for Tulsa if Jesus Ferreira is not able to continue. So we take another look at what happened.
And just looks like the two players come together here. Both players are trying to play the ball. I don't think there's anything malicious in that contact. And obviously Ferreira just on the end of it that you don't want to be on, and unfortunate to get that knock.
If Ferreira is not able to continue with Rivas, the team's leading goal scorer, already out due to yellow card accumulation, Ferreira and Rivas have scored 16 of the team's 29 goals. There's no other player on the roster, let alone on the field, that has more than 3 goals. Michael Gamble, the number 9 in this match, wearing the number 9, I should say, has 3 goals, and outside of that, really pretty much everyone else has 1 or 2 for this Tulsa side.
And he's really favoring that right side, that lower back there, and obviously just took a hit to the back, and definitely going to be difficult for him to continue in this game, and going to be interesting to watch and see if he can.
Ferreira has been waved back on, jogging a bit gingerly, and now turns on the jets as he forces Mangles to send it long to midfield. Asprilla wins the header, cleared away momentarily by Munoz, but straight to Loria. Heavy touch by Loria, gets to it and gets it outside to Barmby. Barmby inside the box, leaves for Loria top of the box, and then Covarrubias able to come back and intercept the pass.
I was trying to make the point earlier about defensively this Tulsa team and why they've been getting scored on so much, and they really invite a lot of pressure with their 2 banks of 4, and there's a lot of space between those lines, and it seems like if you can just get in between those spaces like Loria has been able to do and turn and run at this back line, you're going to be able to create all kinds of problems.
Watch highlights from every game of the 2018 season and stay up to date with news from across the USL at the league's official Facebook page, facebook.com/USL Soccer. Just over a half hour in case you're just joining us, Fletcher Johnson and Nat Borchers here with you as Andre Lewis intercepts the pass. He's got Langsdorff to his left. Will take the shot off the crossbar, straight up into the air, momentarily pawed away by Gentry, and then Tulsa clear their lines. Only as far as Loria, though. Now Langsdorff central, can't control the first touch, falls to Asprilla. Asprilla 30 yards away, shoots wide of Gentry's right post.
And check out Andre Lewis. Comes off a giveaway here. Great job just reading that pass. Drives at that back line, takes the shot, and we'll look here to see where does it fall. That's close. I think it hits the line and bounces out. Would be nice to have VAR at a moment like this, certainly, but I think the referee gets it right by not making that call and calling that a goal. But wonderful aggressiveness there from Andre Lewis to take that ball and take that shot on goal.
Here comes Foster Langsdorff now. Prep touch, sends it in, cleared away by Morton. Covarrubias able to get it to Gamble. Gamble knocks it out to touch. Plenty of great opportunities for Portland here in just over the first half hour, out shooting Tulsa 10-4 here so far.
And they seem like they're settling in here, T2, just getting in that rhythm, getting that ball moving. Seem like they've got control of this game right now. They're up 2 goals, so it's going to be very important that they just continue that possession game, continue to be dangerous. There's going to be more chances to come. They're going to have to take those chances and certainly try to put this game to bed as soon as they possibly can.
Loria finds Asprilla in space. Now he attacks Tayu. Finds Barmby. Can't control it. And Tulsa clears. And one of the most bizarre stats we'll get to in a moment here, as Gamble slows things down and finds Tavares, is that T2 in matches, when they outshoot their opponent, they're just 4-7-1 this season. But when they're outshot by their opponent, they're 10-3-2. They've won 10 times when being outshot by their opponent. Certainly, unless things dramatically change here today, you'd have to think that Portland will outshoot Tulsa and improve that record. But that's a bizarre circumstance for Portland throughout the course of this year, that when they're outshot by their opponents, they have 6 more wins than when they outshoot their opponents.
Yeah, it's a strange one, Fletcher. We talked about it before the game, and you have to think what that stat tells me is they're more comfortable sometimes not dominating possession, not dominating the stats sheet that has shots, and absorbing more pressure and counterattacking, playing in transition. Because you look at the kind of players they have right now on the pitch: Darren Espria, Marvin Loria, Victor Arboleda off the bench, Langsdorff. These guys can fly up and down the field, and I think it's important to understand the kind of identity you want to have as a team, and sometimes, hey, that's okay.
Tough back pass to handle from Alex Mangles from Bill Tuiloman. He just has to head it across the end line and give Tulsa their first corner kick of the afternoon. Jesus Ferreira walking over to take it. He's been pretty ineffective as you see him grab that right side of his back. There is one sub warming up for Tulsa, as Ferreira will be the man to strike this corner kick. Finds Vukovic, whose shot is blocked by Espria, and out for another corner kick. Vukovic spent 2012 with Columbus Crew, 15 appearances, most recently with Indy 11, where he had 59 appearances and 5 goals. Would love to add one here for the visitors. 36th minute. Ferreira in, cleared away by Lewis, out into space for Barmby. T2 can counter if they hurry. Barmby tried to work it around Gamble. Michael Gamble did well to make sure Barmby wasn't going to work his way around him. Offside flag was up on Tavares. Came back to challenge that ball from an offside position.
But back to that identity, Fletcher, I think it's really important to understand who you are as a team. And I think for this team, that interesting stat about being outshot and being more successful, if that's the kind of team you are, then that's okay. You can embrace it at times, and certainly you don't need to always dominate possession. You don't need to always dominate the shot sheet, and you can play on the break, play on the counter, and you can still win games, and you can still control games. It's just a different way of playing. But it's just funny, conventional thinking, I think, for a lot of soccer folks out there, is you have to dominate those categories. You don't always have to do that to get results in soccer.
This T2 team did not have a lot of success last year. Just 3 wins last year. They started with 5 straight on the road this season and came out of that stretch, all things considered, in an incredible position, winning 2 of those first 5, drawing another, and only losing 2 of those matches. That really seemed to give this team a lot of confidence that they've carried then throughout the course of the season. Yeah, there's been dips, there's been valleys, there's been highs, there's been mountaintops throughout the course of this year. But it really seemed like that first 5-match stretch on the road set them up for a lot of what they've experienced here in 2018.
And I think it was a mentality.
Here comes Barmby dribbling at the defense, takes the shot, and Gentry gets that big left paw on it to just steer it wide of his left post.
You'll see here the second ball won there. Ball bounces fortuitously to Jack Barmby. He just takes it in stride, cuts one player, and then just unleashes this shot. That thing was headed to that far corner there, and it's a great save there from Gentry, because I think that one was going into the goal.
Corner taken short. Now Smith. Cross in. Vukovic heads away. Lewis gets it back to Farfan. Mentioned Chase Gentry making just his 2nd start of the season in his first year with Tulsa. 34 career wins for Cal State Dominguez Hills. Made his pro debut in the U.S. Open Cup against FC Wichita a little bit earlier this year. Barmby into space for Espria. Get an inside look at life on and off the field from a player's perspective every Wednesday evening in the latest edition of From the Pitch on USLsoccer.com. Ball at the feet of the 22-year-old New Zealand native Bill Tuiloma, finds Jack Barmby.
That ball right there, been so good. Getting that ball inside out, isolating that fullback against the fullback. T2's done a nice job of just rotating the ball here in this first half.
Now to the right back, Nathan Smith.
And it seems like when you look at this defensive structure, again, at Tulsa, they're very narrow. They're playing very narrow with those two banks of four. So again, if you can get your outside fullbacks advanced and you can play the ball in the center of the park, get it back, and then you hit that switching ball, there are just tons of space for the outside back to run onto. We've seen Farfan do it very successfully so far this half.
You know, one of the other pieces, to go back to that stat we mentioned about being outshot by your opponent and having so many successful results, has to do with the way T2 has played defensively this season. This, of course, their 29th match of the season. They have 10 clean sheets this year, so 1 out of every 3 matches they've been able to hold their opponent scoreless. They've done it with different goalkeepers, whether it be Kendall McIntosh, Alex Mangles. Jeff Attinella has an appearance for T2 this year. They've been able to get it done with different players, not only in goal, but along that back line as well.
And that's what's been most impressive about this turnaround this year with Cam Knowles, who is a former center back and obviously understands the defensive structure and the defensive side of the games. And he's just done a great job with the mentality of this team and getting these guys to understand and believe in that structure and to continue to fight for each other. And you see that, we talked about that, those early results on the road. They did a really good job of getting results early on the road. They just couldn't do it last year, and that's because of that man, Cam Knowles. He's done a fantastic job just putting that defensive impression on this team.
Offside flag up there on Ferreira. You mentioned Cam Knowles, and he spreads the wealth. He's someone who has a great appreciation for his assistants, Aiden Brown, and especially Andrew Greger, given that Andrew Greger was the head coach of this T2 side the last couple seasons and brought a wealth of knowledge to Cameron Knowles in terms of this league, what to expect coming in on a week-by-week basis. Really helped Cam through the early stretch of the season. Now seeing some of these teams for a second time has maybe a better understanding of what this league is all about. But early on, Portland picked up some huge results against some very good teams. And when they've taken on the top teams in the Western Conference, they've held their own, as this ball into the box falls to Ferreira, lays it off for Mirkovic, whose shot is blocked by Tuiloma, and then Vukovic skies it over the net.
And again, Tavares just being very dangerous here on this right-hand side, far-hand side. He's just lining up Farfan 1v1, gets all the way to the byline. It's a good cross in the box, gets cleared initially, and then it's a great save there from Tuiloma, and Vukovic on the follow-up can't get it on goal. But again, T2's got to be wary of that. I think they've locked things down a little bit with Espria coming over to help on that side defensively, but something to be aware of certainly in this second half.
Back pass from Chidama. Mangles clears, but straight out to touch.
These are the moments I talk about it almost every game. It's that final 5 minutes, that final 3 minutes of a half. You have to be so switched on. You're up 2-0. You don't want to give anything away. Don't want to give the team any chances. It doesn't have to be pretty here. Just make sure you don't give anything up. You go to halftime in a good position.
Long switch to DJ Dean, who's been quiet in this first half. Tulsa tries to pull one back here before the break. This ball in from Vukovic is easy stuff for Alex Mangles.
Well, we haven't seen much of Vukovic this half, and I think it's a credit to the T2 defense. He was very active against S2. He was getting up and down that line, especially with Rivas in the game, coming inside and allowing him to get up that channel. I don't think he and Dean have had the same kind of dynamic, but he's a dangerous crosser of the ball, and T2's done a good job of making sure he's staying in his end of the field.
All the way back to Gentry, a 21-year-old from West Covina, California. Finds only Farfan on his punt forward. T2 happy to settle things down a bit. A goal in the 12th minute off a Marvin Loria corner kick. Bill Tuiloma put it in with his head. And then in the 24th minute, it was Marvin Loria who got on the scorer sheet, assisted by Marco Farfan. .40 seconds left plus stoppage time here at the end of the first half. We're hearing from downstairs we'll have 2 minutes of stoppage time. Likely for the seconds after both goals were scored, and then the Ferreira injury. As Lewis gets on the end of it, plays it square for Asprilla. Asprilla's had that dyed blonde hair for, gosh, a couple months now. Langsdorff is spring through by Asprilla. Into the box, takes the shot, and blocked by Morton. What a ball from Asprilla to find Langsdorff.
Langsdorff has been quiet for his standards in this half. That's really the first time we've gotten to see him. It's a great through ball there from Asprilla. Gets his head up. Langsdorff with a good first touch, but the second touch just takes him away from goal, and obviously a great job from Morton coming back to defend his chance.
We're into stoppage time, as Loria will once again strike this corner kick. He'll go towards the penalty spot. Jadama, I think, might have won the header. I don't think he knew much about it, though. Morton missed it. Looked like it almost came off the chest or maybe even the thigh of Mo Jadama. T2 lulling Tulsa to sleep there, creating that opportunity for Langsdorff. And Michael Encian will certainly want to talk to his team at the break and figure out how he can get this group organized to try and make a run at things in the second half.
Yeah, and they've fallen asleep on a few set piece plays, and when you've given up a lot of goals in the season, it just seems like you're very porous, and it's so much harder to defend those set pieces, and there's lapses in concentration, and that's when guys need to step up and be at their best.
30 seconds left here in the added 2 minutes. Outside to Farfan. First time for Langsdorff. Langsdorff goes down in the box. Ball's still in play. Morton able to walk it out of the box and send it along towards midfield. Final 10 seconds. And T2 happy to play this along the back line, as we watch Alejandro Mariscal. This ball forward finds Barmby, corner of the box, heads down to himself, will shoot with his right foot, and a third goal at the death of the first half makes this Portland's half. It's now 3-0 to T2.
We talked here about Tulsa, about T2 not switching off, and it's Tulsa who switches off there. Jack Barmby making a nice run in behind that backlight, beats Vukovic, and I'm thinking there for a second he's going to cross that ball, but he ends up hitting it with his unfavored right foot, goes near post there, and gets that goal. Putting this game to bed is what we talked about earlier, Fletch, and that's what this T2 team is doing.
5th goal of the season for Jack Barmby. And we'll literally kick this ball, and Alejandro Mariscal is going to blow his whistle. I can almost guarantee it, because that came with exactly 47 minutes on the clock. And it looks like we will play a couple more passes. And there indeed is the halftime whistle, and what a first half for T2. Nat, you talked about coming out wanting to make sure you take care of business, and boy did Portland do that in the first half.
They've checked all the boxes in this first half. They came out with energy. They've controlled the game from a possession standpoint. They've created a ton of chances in that final third, and they put their chances away. It's been a dominating performance from T2.
Portland out shooting Tulsa 13-4 in that first half and take a 3-0 lead to the break thanks to goals from Bill Tuiloma, Marvin Loria, and Jack Barby. Halftime show is coming your way in just a bit. We'll be back from Providence Park in a few minutes.
See it here as maybe another potential chance for the Rangers. Long range shot, incredible save. Ball knocked over the top. What a touch! Guzman! Put a delivery. Header, tipped over the bar. What a save.
It's Kuzane.
Oh! Sensational! Handball. Jay Bolt saved by Ranjitsingh. Lance Lang!
And it's saved by Crepeau.
Are you kidding me? Antoine Opano! Tina kick save by Spencer Richards. A left-footed shot. Oh, wonder goal from Jesse Daly.
Headed towards Vega. Did he hold it out? Somehow Daniel Vega holds it out.
Dennis can hit from this range. Aaron Dennis. Cross header towards the goal. It's Dejas punches it over the top to save the lead. Fernando Adi over to his left foot. Fernando Adi, his first goal in Cincinnati. Chambers, he's gonna hit it. And Pizer tips it over the bar. The outswinger and volleyed in for a goal.
The defense, Lasser 1v1 versus Kuati, who makes a beautiful save.
Enriquez on his right. Skundrits, what a save from Pizer.
Back in Portland, Oregon at Providence Park today, a special day as the Oregon Humane Society partners with the Portland Timbers organization for Bark in the Park. Fans get to bring their favorite pets, their favorite dogs to the stadium and enjoy the games together. And they're enjoying a great one here this afternoon. T2 in front 3-0, well on their way, barring disaster, to find themselves just a point back of Sacramento Republic on 48 points as they look for one of those coveted top 4 positions with just 5 matches left after today in the regular season. Welcome back into the broadcast booth. Nat Borchers and Fletcher Johnson here with you. Nat, there were 3 main areas you could say T2 dominated. The eye test, they were dominant. Statistically, they were dominant. And then on the scoreboard as well, 3-0 here at the break.
Yeah, they checked off all those boxes, Fletcher. And we talked about it earlier. You have to play up to the level, the standard that you want to be at and that you should be at. You don't want to play down to the level of your opponent, and they haven't done that. They came out with the right energy. They created the right chances. The movement was very, very good. It looked crisp. It looked fresh. Very good performance from this T2 squad. As
we head down the stretch run of the USL season, plenty of news around the league. We'll start off with Memphis 901 releasing their branding, also just being announced as a USL franchise. Nat, we saw Colorado Rapids play here last night against the MLS Timbers. They actually played in a friendly last Saturday in Memphis against Tulsa Roughnecks FC in what was a fun match to announce Memphis as the next USL franchise.
Yeah, and it's just so good for this USL league to have more teams, more eyeballs on the beautiful game, and to really get these marquee matchups, these players in different cities. And I think it's going to be really fun to see how this Memphis side grows.
Moving a little bit north into Ohio, FC Cincinnati's on a 16-game unbeaten run. Of course, Fernando Adi traded from the MLS Timbers to FC Cincinnati last month, and they've just continued their hot play and are a force to be reckoned with in the Eastern Conference.
16 games unbeaten, that's incredible. The Timbers went on a 15-game unbeaten streak in MLS. 16 games unbeaten is incredible. Just great job defensively, adding Fernando Adi, and they're just doing so much on and off the field, creating so much excitement. I can't wait to watch them in MLS play next year.
And another USL expansion side, Hartford Athletic out there in Connecticut. Jimmy Nielsen, the former Sporting Kansas City goalkeeper, named their sporting director. I know you guys had some run-ins back in the day.
Yeah, the White Puma, Jimmy Nielsen. Yeah, he did a great job with OKC. It's interesting to see him pop up now with Hartford, and I can't wait to see the kind of imprint he's going to have on that organization. We'll have to follow them next year.
A lot of fun to keep an eye on what's going on around this league, so we'll certainly continue to do that as the season goes along. But there's been plenty of action here in the first half. Let's take a look at the highlights in the 12th minute. T2 opened the scoring.
And the quality of the service there from Marvin Loria, and Tuiloma just gets up. He rises up. The technique, gets his head, nods the ball down into the corner of the net. Fantastic first goal for Tuiloma there. 1-0 T2.
Yep, the 17th different goal scorer for T2 this season. We move 12 minutes later. It's once again Marvin Loria, and this time off the crossbar from Tuiloma.
Yeah, and Tulsa was falling asleep on those set pieces. Tuiloma taking advantage there. Rises up again, beats his marker, and just gets that ball off the crossbar.
In the same minute, it was Marvin Loria, the assist man last time, that found the back of the net thanks to Marco Farfan.
And it's a great run there for Marco Farfan. Just waits, and then he plays that cross through the legs of the defender, and then Loria gets it here. As you can see, it just goes through the legs of the defender, then Loria then through the legs of the goalkeeper, and it's a good second goal for T2.
Farfan's first professional assist. The 32nd minute, it was Andre Lewis off the crossbar after the turnover.
Great aggressive play from look at him just run at that ball and then run at the back line. He just pings this ball, hits off the crossbar. We really wish we had the VAR here to see if that crossed the line, but a fantastic run there. Great chance on goal there from Andre Lewis, and great play from him.
And then there were a couple moments in first half stoppage time that T2 had an opportunity to score. It was Jack Barmby that converted this.
It's just a simple chip ball over the top from Nathan Smith, and Barmby just runs onto it. Thought he was going to cross the ball here, but nope. He goes near post there to make that game 3-0, and it's a great run from him with the dying seconds of this first half, and a fantastic time to score a goal.
So you see the 3 goals. That's where we stand 3-0 in favor of Portland. As we mentioned earlier, the statistics very lopsided in favor of Portland.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about T2 dominating those statistical categories and not winning games. So let's see if they can do that now. They can dominate all those statistical categories and really hit a second gear in this second half.
Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit www.selectsportamerica.com. Receive free shipping on orders over $50. Both teams back out on the field. Looks like there will be one change for Tulsa coming here at the break. We'll get that for you here momentarily once it's announced by our fourth official, Stephanie Tercero. No changes for Portland here at the break, but one of the 5 substitutes available for Roughnecks FC will come on, and it will be Adrian Jusinho in. And we'll wait to see who the man coming off is. It will be for Uzi Tayu, the right back, as the whistle blows from Alejandro Mariscal, and we are underway here with the second half of action. So Tulsa making the substitute. Like for life, Adrian Jusinho on for Uzi Tayu, who had his hands full with Marvin Loria early on, Dyron Espria, Marco Farfan later on in that first half. Jusinho, a 26-year-old from Springfield, Massachusetts, most recently with Club Always Ready down in Bolivia. And one of the most awesome collegiate nicknames. Adrian Jusinho played for the Richland College Thunder Ducks in 2013.
That is fantastic.
You do not mess with the Thunder Ducks.
The Thunder Ducks. I don't even know what to say about that right now. It's like an oxymoron.
So we'll see what Jusinho adds to this match for Tulsa. And that 3-0 up can be difficult at times to come out in the second half motivated, regardless of what side of that score line you're on. What do you need to see out of Portland here, especially early on in the second half?
Well, I think that's a challenge for Cam Knowles is what do you say in that locker room after your team has done everything you've asked them to do? You want them to continue to be aggressive, to show their stuff. I think this is an excellent opportunity for them to show maturity, make sure that they can kill the game off in the right ways, create some more chances, but also dominate the game, get control of the ball, make sure that you're staying really nice and tight defensively. We've seen this team, Fletcher, in the second half really run out of steam sometimes, those final 15 minutes. So I'd like to see them challenge themselves to be better in that final 15 minutes, to really show more energy, show more grit, determination, and maturity to see the game out. Don't give anything up.
Farfan fouled by Tavares. It'll basically be a shorter corner kick, about 5 yards from the sideline. And a dangerous opportunity here for Portland. You saw Loria dribble at the defense, and Jusinho was forced to block a shot from Loria near the top of the box. Both Lewis and Loria stand over this one. Two-man wall for Tulsa. Loria towards a penalty spot, headed away by Morton. And now Dean wins out in front of Zambrano. His pass forward for Ferreira is nicely won by Farfan. And here comes Langsdorf, who's onside. Gentry quickly off his line to clear away and now has to get back into his net. Espria can't control off the thigh.
Wonderful play there from Marco Farfan. The break was on there for Tulsa. They were 3v2. If Marco Farfan doesn't make that play, then Tulsa obviously can get an opportunity on net.
Here comes Tavares. He was arguably the most active player for Tulsa in the first half. Attacking down this right-hand side. For the most part, it was Tavares versus Farfan. Each won their fair share of battles in the first half.
I think Espria has done a nice job of coming over to this side and helping Farfan just defensively with that matchup, making sure it's not so much 1v1, coming back, making sure you make it 2v1, getting some right positions there to help him out and make sure it's not so much pressure on the young guy.
Floated cross towards the back post from Tavares, headed on by Smith, and it will roll just to the outside of that corner flag for the second corner kick, make it the third corner kick of the afternoon for Tulsa. Ferreira will run all the way over from here on the near side to take the corner kick. Went down holding his back after a challenge with Renzo Zambrano earlier. Seems to be okay as he's continuing on, but certainly had very little impact after he went down with that injury. We'll send this one in. Mangles misjudges it. Tuiloma gets ahead to it, and then a volley from the top of the box is well wide. Came from Merkovich. Make it Gamble was the man that hit that.
We'll see this corner kick coming in here. Mangles going for the ball, completely misses it. Ball gets cleared there. Nice clearance here. One-time shot there from Gamble. Doesn't keep it on net, but Mangles has to be careful there. Can't go fishing and miss the ball.
Alex Mangles, 24-year-old from Lafayette, California, making his 11th start of the season. Looking to pick up his second clean sheet at home this year. He's got 3 clean sheets on the road. Hasn't experienced quite that level of success at home. T2 additionally looking for their 10th win in Portland this season. Well on their way to doing so.
And you think about available options for Cam Knowles coming off the bench.
This ball in from Barmby finds Zambrano, who sprays it across the face of net, but no one was there to put it past Gentry.
And T2 just continuing this wonderful movement here in the midfield. Barmby just coming out wide, and then it's the underlap there from Zambrano. He just tries to spray that ball across the face of the net. Nobody there on the end of it, but again, some very good run in there, good movement from that midfield of T2. But if you look at available subs here for Cam Knowles, and you think about the speed that can come off the bench with a guy like Victor Arboleda. We talked about him throughout the season. He's was with the team early on. He left the team. Now he's back. I think the team missed him a lot, certainly in terms of that speed and that transition play. And to have a guy like him be able to come off the bench, I think is a nice addition, a nice weapon for Cameron Knowles.
Laurie outside for Farfan, defended by Tavares. Farfan works his way around Tavares. There's a cross in, not much on it. Cleared away easily by Jacino. Important match for Portland today, because after today, in the final 5 matches of the season, Portland will only play at home once. They'll play 4 road matches. They've fared well on the road this year, but certainly important to pick up max points at home when you get the opportunity, as Zambrano is fouled in the center circle by Merkovich.
Yeah, and it's always more important. You have to get those points at home. As you see here, Renzo Zambrano doing a nice job of getting his body in front of Merkovich and drawing the foul. But it's so important to get those home points, especially down the stretch. And you look at an upcoming schedule, 4 or 5 on the road. Very difficult to get results on the road. And I think T2 are hitting a nice stride here, and they can continue this momentum, bring in that mentality. It's important.
And you look at the upcoming schedule for T2 at Las Vegas, a team that they lost to here in Portland earlier this year. They play at Fresno FC, at Sacramento, which is a playoff team, then back home here on October 3rd against Reno 1868, and then finish the season at Phoenix, another team at the top of the Western Conference standing. So a couple good challenges there at the end of the season in Sacramento and Phoenix, and then 3 games that you'll want to get at least a point, if not 3 from, against Vegas, Fresno, and Reno.
Yeah, it's an important stretch for this T2 team to really challenge themselves on the road, to see where they're going to end up in this playoff stretch. If they don't play well, they could potentially not be in the playoffs. If they play really well, hey, who knows how high they could finish in the playoff race. So very important remaining schedule for them. Good test, good challenge.
And on the other side of things, we mentioned for Tulsa, it's a team that in their final 6 matches of the year, they'll play 5 of the final 6 at home, and all 6 come starting today between against teams between 4 and 9 in the Western Conference standings. So Tulsa could play a pretty large role in the playoffs because of who they're coming up against in the late stages of the season. Teams currently on the outside of the playoffs, just barely looking in, and then teams that are trying to make sure they maintain their playoff position here at the end of the year.
And if I'm the manager, Incian, I'm having a go at my players. I'm saying, hey guys, we have an opportunity here.
Smith finds Barmby near the penalty spot. Barmby goes down, and a foul called on Barmby. They're going to say Barmby dove, and then Barmby hits it into the Timbers Army.
As you can see there, the ball goes wide, and Vukovic loses his footing there. Smith with a nice play gets the ball across. Barmby takes his touch, gets it between the man and player, and that's clearly a foul. You can see the contact there on Barmby's right ankle. He's got every right to be upset. Gets the yellow card for kicking the ball out of the stands, but certainly should be a penalty call. I think that's as clear as day.
Yep, that's a missed call from Alejandro Mariscal, as Barmby was clearly taken down in the box. But in the end, it is a caution for Jack Barmby, his third of the season, and one that in the end I'm sure Cam Knowles will say, you know, do we want you to get that caution? No, but understand the frustration given that seemed as though you were clearly fouled.
Well, and if it's a 0-0 game, I think there's a little bit more frustration. Obviously, the team's up 3-0. You hope it doesn't come back to bite you, that call. But certainly, call should have been made. But back to Michael Encian and his message to the players. You know, you got only a few games left in the season. You're out of the playoffs. You haven't played well. Now it's time to put guys on trial. Time to see, okay, who wants to fight for this team? Who wants to be part of this team next year? And I think it's going to be important for him to get that right and figure that out, because those results are going to be important to see where all those teams end up in the Western Conference in terms of the playoff matchups.
Going back to the last 5 games and then including today, Portland has been on fire in terms of scoring goals. They have 14 goals in the last 6 games, in the last really 5 games in 55 minutes. So they've really rediscovered their goal scoring ability as Barmby sends in Asprilla. Asprilla, his pass behind Loria, maybe a little too cute. Asprilla could have taken a shot. It would have been from a difficult angle, but Portland maintained possession. Barmby from outside the box into the chest of Gentry.
And they're just playing on this right side for fun here. And as you see, Smith just getting on the ball, playing a simple ball to Barmby. No pressure on the ball. He plays a nice shot, hits the keeper right on target. But it's just really easy right now for T2 to play these balls. They're finding a lot of space here on this far side, just coming down the left side of defense on Vukovic's side. And there's no pressure on the ball. Look at Barmby. He can just walk his way into the midfield. If I'm Encian, I'm saying, hey, guys, we got to get somebody out there to pressure. Dean needs to come back. They've obviously shifted their formation slightly here, and it's thrown them off just a little bit in terms of their balance.
Asprilla loses out to Gamble. Now Merkovic, who's back on the field after momentarily going off after being looked at by trainer Kobe Smith. Tulsa readying their second substitution. Could potentially get that at the next dead ball. And now Tavares dribbling at Farfan into the box. Strong first ball cleared away by Lewis.
Have to say, I've been really impressed by Zambrano and Lewis. Their work rate today has just been stunning. Defensively, they've been getting back, tracking back, putting themselves in good position to make plays. And then on the offensive side, really good on the ball, building out, good first touches. Lewis in particular just looks very confident at this stage in the season.
Tuiloma gets it to Barmby in space. Loria running free down the center of the field. Langsdorff there as well. Barmby tries to get it by with the outside of his left boot to Loria at the top of the box, but cleared away by Morton.
And it looks like Tulsa shifted formation this second half. Looks like more of a 4-3-3 or a 4-4-2 with 4-2-4 even, with Dean really pressing up high. Seems like they want to have Ferreira, Dean, and Gamble up high. Then they got that central midfield, and Tavares obviously still on this wing. I think that it's really exposing them, though, on that far left side with Vukovic.
See the second substitution of the afternoon for Tulsa. It's Isaac Diaz, the 25-year-old from Guadalajara, Mexico, coming on in place of Ivan Merkovic, whose day is done after 59 minutes. So Diaz listed as a forward on for the midfielder, Mrkovic. See how that changes up the formation. It looks like Diaz will play in an advanced role as well. This may be even looking more like 3 up top in some senses.
Yeah, it looks like Gamble's dropping in a bit more into the midfield. Kovarubax is covering off the back line. And then you got Dean and Diaz, Ferreira, and even Tavares just trying to play a little bit higher, but leaving the midfield just wide open with this kind of formation. Tons of space for T2 to play in and find gaps.
Here's Foster Langsdorff sent forward by Lewis. Loria making a run, tries Asprilla at the back post. Giacino missed the clearance. Asprilla will chase it down here on the near sideline. His cross goes off the chest of Tavares. Now back at the feet of Tavares once again. Eti Tavares. A goal and an assist so far this season in 22 appearances. From Bissau Guinea. Gamble dribbles forward, gets by Smith, sends it in towards Ferreira. Jadama with an important left foot in there to deflect it away. And this substitution most recently has seemed to change things a little bit for Tulsa. Getting more bodies forward into the attack.
But again, I think now it's time for Zambrano and Lewis to really step up in that midfield, get some tackles, win possession just like Zambrano did there, and then just get that rhythm back, get that flow going for that midfield and start finding more of those gaps, because as Tulsa starts moving these numbers forward, there's going to be tons of gaps that are going to happen and occur in that back line of Tulsa.
You just see the work right there from Marvin Loria. That ball bounced directly in front of Eti Tavares, who wanted nothing to do with it, and Loria came out to collect.
And it's that width over there on Smith's side. It just seems like Dean is playing a bit higher now and a bit more centrally at times in the attack, and it's just leaving a ton of space there for Smith just to attack into, and with Barmby overlapping, creating that 2v1 against Vukovic.
62nd minute. Portland with 3 goals in the first half. One touch passing out to Farfan. Farfan's cross goes off the back of Tavares. Asprilla now battling Vukovic. Now Morton works to clear Asprilla. Just being a pest back there. Ends up in a goal kick.
Yeah, his work rate has been very good today. He's just been honest in terms of how hard he's been going after things. Looks very energetic. Looks just like he's got a spring to his step right now. That play in particular, just continuing to be a pest, to get after that back line. So important. Especially if you're on T2's defense, to see that from an attacking player.
Whistle blows for a foul as T2 readies their first substitution. I'll get that to you momentarily. Ferreira goes central for Diaz. I think it would be fair to say that Cam Knowles is still looking for a full 90-minute performance from his team. They're close here with the way they've played. If they could add a couple more goals, you'd have to think that Cam would be pretty satisfied with the performance, as T2 earns their 7th corner kick of the afternoon.
Yeah, I think so, and they've started this second half very well. Again, continuing to dominate in terms of possession, dominate in creating chances. They haven't given up a whole lot in this second half, and I think Cam Knowles would be happy, but again, can they finish this game out? That's the big question for this team.
Here comes Nathan Smith in towards Langsdorff, who tries to steer it on frame, I think, with just his right thigh. That ball was coming in at 1,000,000 miles an hour. couldn't do too much with it, still nearly turned it on frame.
And this is the kind of goal scorer he is. He doesn't care what part of the body hits him and the ball goes in. A goal is a goal for this guy. It's a wonderful ball here across the face of the goal. And then it just does the redirection there from Langsdorff. Comes in a little bit too high, a little bit too late for him to see it. But he doesn't care how he scores goals. He just wants the goal. And it's funny, we were talking about it last night about Jeremy Ebobisse and the influence that Giovanni Savarese has had on his play. And Ebobisse is the kind of player, he wants to score a pretty goal. He wanted to just make clean contact with the ball. And Savarese is like, no, it doesn't have to be like that. You can score any part of your body. It can be dirty goals. And that was the term he used. You know, Gio has taught him how to score dirty goals. And I think that's the influence he has also had on Foster Langsdorff.
All right, so Marvin Loria's day will be done through 65 minutes. He gets a goal on an assist from Marco Farfan in the first half. That one came in the 24th minute as we take another look at the beauty.
Yeah, and you see here, it's a nice overlapping run there from Farfan, who just gets it between the defender's legs there. Loria in a great position to score, gets it through the goalkeeper's legs right there. A fantastic finish from the Costa Rican and an important goal for T2.
And the man who comes on is Victor Arboleda, who scored that game-winning goal against St. Louis last weekend. That was his first appearance since May 18th, Victor Arboleda. Incidentally as well, he holds the record for shots by a single player in a single game. Back on April 4th of this year against Tulsa, had 8 shots in that game that ended in a scoreless draw. So Victor Arboleda, one of the things that those that have watched T2 and the Portland Timbers of MLS for the past few years know that Arboleda brings is speed, pace, and ability.
Yeah, and we'll see him shift over to this right-hand side while Jack Barmby comes in a little bit more centrally in Loria's position as that free, creative playmaker. But I think Arboleda's speed has been missed with this T2 team since he's been out, and he just gives a different dimension. This is the perfect time, Fletcher, to bring a player like this in when the game gets stretched, when Tulsa's throwing numbers forward, and now he can get the freedom to kind of roam up there and create goals.
Voting runs throughout this weekend for the USL's monthly awards. Have your say in the votes for Players of the Month, Goal of the Month, and Save of the Month at uslsoccer.com. As Asprilla is taken down by Jacino. Asprilla will roll over and remain down for a moment here.
And Asprilla gets the ball here. He's trying to line up Jacino, takes a bad touch, and then just runs right into the big man. More of a rugby tackle than anything there, and Asprilla down on the ground took a hard knock there from that challenge.
Just a stern talking to from Alejandro Mariscal as Asprilla is up. Jacino was trying to say, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. I'm just kind of standing there, and Asprilla ran into me.
Yeah, I think it's that touch that Asprilla takes kind of puts him in an awkward position, and Jacino just standing his ground. Certainly still a foul at any rate.
Jacino spent his youth career in Bolivia from 2008 to 2013, making his 18th appearance here today. This long ball finds Tavares off the foot of Farfan, and Asprilla has to come over and clear across the end line for the 4th corner kick for the visitors.
And again, Asprilla coming back and defending for Farfan. He's just been so good today, just coming back and helping Farfan out and putting in a defensive shift. He's really solidified this side and really helped Farfan out a lot. Very important player and a very important energy he's brought to this game, Asprilla.
Diaz, the substitute to strike. He'll send it in towards the penalty spot. Goes all the way through to the back post. Headed on by Jacino, but he can't direct it onto Alex Mangel's net.
As we'll see, it's a dangerous ball in here. It just doesn't get cleared by anybody. Falls all the way to the back post there to Jacino, who could just nod it, I think, back to the far post for an easy goal. Doesn't have the composure to do it, but T2, again, you have to make sure in those moments you're switched on, and I think if I'm Mangles and I'm on the back line as well as a defender, I'm screaming at everybody, hey, we got to get this shutout, man. We got to continue to fight and play well. Just regardless of the scoreline.
Morton over to Vukovic. Can't control with his head. And Zambrano settles. Now to Arboleda. Arboleda trying to use that pace to get around Morton. First touch lets him down a bit. Gentry clears only as far as Zambrano.
Look at that stuff there from Zambrano and Lewis. Oh man, the dynamic, the partnership there is just growing so much, and I love the confidence of these two. And God, they got so much bite in this game, and they've just had such a good possession between the two of them. Just a great dynamic, and I think that's going to only continue towards the end of this season.
Covarrubias was the man who committed the foul on Lewis, and have not called Covarrubias' name at all here tonight, as Farfan just can't quite turn on the wheels enough to track down that ball.
And he looks tired, and I think a lot of these players from Tulsa, they just look tired. It's been a long road trip for them, and T2's done a good job of just putting them under pressure, of making them have to track back, making them have to defend. And when you do that, you really just run the legs out of teams, and I think that's what T2 has done here today.
Farfan down behind the play. Tavares brings the other way. His pass behind Diaz, and now Lewis will get it out to Asprilla. Farfan remains down, holding his face. Farfan felt like he got an elbow to the nose. At least that's what he was gesturing to Alejandro Mariscal. Farfan will get up, holding that nose. The first ever homegrown player signed by the MLS Timbers.
Yeah, we'll see here that the players just kind of come together. Tavares goes down. Farfan, whew. Tavares coming in with that elbow. It does come in high. Could be considered malicious by the referee. I think Tavares is lucky to get away with one there, and Farfan lucky, obviously, that his nose is still intact.
It was a pretty strong elbow from Tavares. Great work by Asprilla and Farfan. A little 1-2 action between those guys. Now to Barmby. His pass deflects off. Tries to find Langsdorf. Then nutmegs Farfan. Does Munoz. Some desperate defending by Tulsa.
Yeah, some really good defending there by Munoz. He had to make that play. And as you'll see here, ball just gets deflected there. Langsdorf making the run. Munoz with a nice slide tackle there, and then is able to meg Farfan and get the ball clear of danger. Foster Langsdorf, though, 14 goals on the season. You have to think he's hungry for more. I can't believe, Fletcher, we were talking just a few weeks ago. He was the second leading goal scorer in USL, and then all of a sudden a week and a half later he's the fifth. And obviously things change really quickly in this league, but I think Foster has shown how hungry he is to score this season.
Yeah, Foster Langsdorf won 3 national championships at Stanford, as you see, tied for 5th in USL right now with those 14 goals. Has 4 goals and an assist in his last 5 games for T2. Certainly making a lot of people say, should he be getting a sniff with the MLS Timbers? Coach Giovanni Savarese addressed that, said it's just not quite ready yet. As Vukovic controls off his thigh. His pass for Diaz is wayward, and now Arboleda in space, defended by Gamble, gets it caught in the spokes a bit. Gamble wins it back. Gamble goes down. Lewis may have thought the foul was there, did Gamble. Now Arboleda has it corner of the box, works his way around Morton, still with it at his feet. Covarrubias comes over to help, and Arboleda earns the throw.
That's really good defending there from Morton. I think he's done a really nice job in the center of the pitch for Tulsa, and really having to cover there for Vukovic in a lot of plays.
Now to Barmby. Barmby finds Asprilla top of the box. Back in for Barmby. Time to shoot, cuts it back, lays it off for Asprilla. His shot blocked by Giacino, and out for the 8th corner kick of the day.
T2 just applying a bit more pressure here, as we'll see. Barmby getting the ball on the turn, plenty of space to operate there, lays it off for Asprilla, tries to play it in there. Barmby doesn't have the shot, elects to play it back to Asprilla, who hits a shot, and it gets deflected for a corner kick.
With Loria out, it'll be Barmby to strike this corner kick. Jack Barmby with 2 assists this season. Send this one in. Tuiloma nearly wins another header. Farfan pressures Ferreira and then gets the ball in front of Morton. Will send it in, cleared straight up into the air. Arboleda helps get a touch to it. Now Jadama at the top of the box, shoots it and saved by Gentry.
This is just good aggressive play here from T2 on the second ball. Takes a little sniff right there, and then Jadama just getting the ball and pinging it with his left foot. Nice shot. Ball looks like it's going up, but the goalkeeper getting a paw on it and sending it out for another corner kick.
We'll have a brief stoppage here as Barmby was set to take the corner kick from the near corner flag. Alejandro Mariscal wants it from the far corner flag, though, so now Barmby will have to run all the way over to the other side of the field and send in an in-swinger with that left boot instead of an out-swinger.
Interesting. I don't think I've seen a referee make a player go one side or the other based on a save like that went over the top of the goal, but maybe it's Barmby wanting to do that.
Mariscal stop play momentarily to talk to Isaac Diaz at that near post. Now the whistle blows, back to action. Tuiloma, ball just over his head, falls to Jadama, leaves it for Langsdorff, headed away by Tavares. T2 still searching for their first goal here in the second half. Barmby nearly picks out Tuiloma. And then the clearance from Morton deflects off Arboleda out for a goal kick.
T2 just applying all kinds of pressure here. This has been a nice run of play for them, just to continue to keep Tulsa pinned into their half of the field. Great chances, keep the ball moving around, and Tulsa just not looking dangerous at all.
Flag is up for offside on DJ Dean. The 19-year-old from Los Angeles thought that maybe he was onside there, but was just off. Was the youngster who signed his first pro contract with this Tulsa Roughnecks FC side after coming through the Tulsa Soccer Club Hurricane team during his youth career.
We were talking about Foster Langsdorff and him getting an opportunity to play with the first team, and Giovanni Tavares is saying he's not ready yet, and you have to think that he knows best because certainly as a striker, a former striker in this league, he knows when the right times to play players are. And look at Jeremy Abobasi.
Here's Tavares against Farfan. Almost a little too much niftiness. Now to Gamble, who shoots. His block by Jadama cleared away only top of the box to Vukovic. And then Smith able to block the Vukovic shot. Arboleda shields across the sideline.
You look at Jeremy Abobasi and the game he has last night for the Timbers, how well he played. He gets on the end of two chances, scores both. One gets called back for offsides, and he has a fantastic night. Gio says he's ready. It was his time, and he's obviously given confidence to this guy. So you have to trust the process sometimes. Certainly Gio has made the right moves in terms of picking the striker at the moment. But I think Foster Langsdorff, if he continues his run of form, he's going to get his chance. It's only a matter of time.
We'll see the third and final substitution for Tulsa at the next dead ball. Jacino wins the header. Tavares and Esprilla battling it out. T2 maintaining this 3-goal lead that they had at halftime. In for Arboleda from Barmby. Arboleda floats across in. Esprilla and Jacino rise, neither get to it. Esprilla knocks it back to Farfan. And a penalty kick called. Tavares took down Foster Langsdorff at the corner of the box. And Portland with a chance to add a fourth. Michael and Eason not happy, but here's another look.
It's a good run from Langsdorff there, and he just gets across the front of Tavares, and it's clumsy from Tavares. You can see there's really not much of an argument from him there. I think it's a pretty easy PK call. Obviously, the referee could have called another one as a PK, the one on Jack Barmby, but he gets this one right. Now it's Foster Langsdorff, his opportunity to get his 15th.
Foster Langsdorff 3 for 5 from the spot this season, scored against Los Dos, Oklahoma City, and Fresno. He had 2 misses on August 5th against Phoenix. These were the most recent times that he stepped to the spot to try and score. As Christian Rodriguez has come on for DJ Dean, Tulsa's last substitute before this penalty kick for Foster Langsdorff. He'll strike it with his right foot. Against Gentry. Whistle blows. Langsdorff approaches. And saved by Gentry. Quickly the other way come Tulsa. Energized by that save from their 21-year-old goalkeeper Chase Gentry. Cleared away by Portland to the feet of Dairon Asprilla. Foster Langsdorff will want that one back. And Barmby offside, the flag came up.
And we'll see here, Langsdorff just coming to connect to the ball. Gets good pace, good power on it. Chase Gentry just doing a great job of guessing the right way. I don't think he gets it all the way to the corner, but I think Chase Gentry has the step on it.
Here comes Lewis, leaves it for Langsdorff. Gentry off his line to collect, and does well. Chase Gentry, an injection of confidence for the youngster. As Lewis was in on goal, could have taken the shot, instead played it for Langsdorff, too far out in front of him, and Gentry cleans it up. Central from Coruvias, looking for Diaz, who I don't think was expecting the pass.
As we'll see here, comes off a great play there from Andre Lewis again. He tries to square the ball there to Langsdorff, but just a bit behind him, and Gentry well off his line. Nice heads up play from him. A nice couple of plays from Gentry in this last minute to really keep his game, keep his team in the match.
Into the final 8.5 minutes plus stoppage time. Langsdorff forward for Arboleda, who can now use that pace. Munoz over to defend. He's got Barmby central. Will use him. Dummies on for Zambrano. Now to Lewis. Lewis inside top of the box, taken down. No foul called, and here comes Tulsa the other way. Lewis hustling to get back into position. Jadama there to clear out to touch. Quickly in corner of the box. Chest to chest, shoulder to shoulder. Nathan Smith wins out against Michael Gamble and clears to Barmby. How well do you know the USL? Test your knowledge in USLsoccer.com's weekly picks competition every week, and you could win tickets to an upcoming USL game of your choice. Diaz will shoot from distance. Mangles was diving to his right, but the shot is wide.
You can kind of feel the momentum has shifted just a bit in Tulsa's favor in the recent moments after that penalty save here. T2's got to be a bit smarter now. See this game out. It's another 8-9 minutes. They have to be safe, compact, steady, and then where is Zambrano and Lewis? Get them the ball, get that rhythm back, get some more possession going.
Certainly would like to keep the clean sheet here. Outside of the lone loss in their previous 5 matches against Orange County, in which they lost 3-2. T2 have only given up 2 goals. Asprilla finds Arboleda top of the box. Arboleda cuts it back, will shoot with his left, takes the deflection, and Portland has their 4th.
And this is just some wonderful play there from the Colombian to the Colombian. Esprilla winning the ball in midfield, playing to his counterpart, Arboleda, who cuts the ball back, gets a very fortunate bouncer. I think it hits off Jusino for the goal, but a wonderful aggressive play from Esprilla. Sees his countryman out in space, and I thought he should shoot right there. Cuts it back, puts it on his left, and again, very fortunate to get that bounce deflected, but a goal.
Arboleda's 6th goal of the season. Dairon Esprilla's first assist of the season has increased Portland's lead to 4. This the 4th time this season that Portland has scored 4 goals, and the 3rd time they've done it at home. They did it against Los Dos back in May, against S2 last month, and here today against Tulsa. Tavares fouls Esprilla, not happy with the call. Alejandro Mariscal tells him to calm down.
I think Tavares has been just a bit wild in his challenges recently, obviously with the PK and a few other issues, obviously the Farfan situation as well. I think the referee doing a good job of just saying, hey, you need to take it easy right now. He's showing some frustration, obviously being down 4-0. Difficult place to be in, certainly, if you're on Tulsa's team.
Esprilla wins the header. Barnby happy to play back to Tuiloma into space for Smith. 86th minute. Portland with goals in the 12th, 24th, 45th, +2, and now 84th minute. Have them seeing this 4-0 scoreline.
We can hear the dogs barking in the background, noting their approval.
Once again, the Oregon Humane Society and Portland Timbers organization partnering for today's Bark in the Park, as fans can bring their dogs. If this result holds, it would be the largest margin of victory for T2 in a match. They beat Los Dos 7-3 back on May 18th as Esprilla carries forward. He's got Farfan on the overlapping run. He'll use him. And Jusino clears out off of Farfan for a Tulsa throw. And as we await that throw, will we see the substitutions come at this moment? I think we will see the substitutions. So Augustine Williams will come on in place of Foster Langsdorff. So Foster Langsdorff had an opportunity to pick up his 15th goal of the season, was unable to do so. And then Carlos Anguiano will also come on in place of Renzo Zambrano, who gives the captain's armband to Mo Jadama. So Zambrano and Langsdorff off.
Yeah, and you could see there Cam Knowles having a word with Langsdorff, saying, hey, don't worry about that missed PK. You've been doing so well. It's nothing to think twice about. You know, again, I thought he hit it really well. I thought Chase Gentry did a nice job on the save. Picked the right spot to move, and sometimes it can be 50-50 like that when you're taking a PK if the goalkeeper guesses the right way. So good for Foster to come off the field, still feeling confident about his performance.
Smith carries forward. Augustine Williams making his 23rd appearance of the season. Carlos Anguiano his 7th appearance of the season, as that ball rolls past Arboleda and out to touch on the far side. 89th minute now. Diaz pressured by Anguiano. T2 may be up 4 goals, but they're still keeping that high press going at full speed. Gentry forced to come well off of his line, and clears out to touch near midfield.
And that's been a staple of this second half, is just really putting Tulsa under pressure, making them try to play out, making them give the ball back to you in possession. And when you high press like that, you obviously can take some risks, but it just doesn't seem like T2's been punished at all. On their counterattack, they've done a nice job of just putting that pressure on that Tulsa back line.
Anguiano goes in for Augustine Williams, who gets a touch. She was offside. Augustine Williams was offside. Otherwise, he had found Arboleda, who put it in the back of the net. But the offside flag was up from Daniel Spicer Escalante on the far side. Nearly a fifth for T2. Would have set a new record for largest margin of victory in a match had they got that one. Well, I think it's safe to say this is about as complete a performance as we've seen from T2 throughout the course of the season, Nat.
Yeah, I think that this is that game that Cam Knowles is going to come into the locker room, and he's going to be able to rest well tonight, because the team has had a dominating performance. They've played well through a full 90 minutes. They haven't had any big mistakes in the back. They've done a great job with possession. They've just had a ton of bite in midfield, and they've been really, really good at creating chances. So a great performance from this team. I think we could argue the best that we've seen so far this season. And certainly you could say they could have more goals. Obviously a missed PK. You had a couple more chances that were missed. Opportunities off the crossbar, PK calls that weren't made.
Espria shoots, and Gentry forced into a save with that right hand, and now the 10th corner kick of the night for Portland, who are out shooting Tulsa 23-11. Can hear the dogs barking. Joyous roar from them here, as we're about a minute and a half left of the added 3. You'll see a cute one right there, as Tuiloma rises again to win the header but can't steer it on frame. Solid performance all the way around from Portland here this afternoon.
And I think the two things that impressed me the most about this game, Fletcher, were Zambrano and Lewis, their partnership, just how good it was today, how confident both of them looked defending and attacking, and then that front four, Barmby, Espria. I thought Langsdorff did a good job as well. Loria just really creating spaces for each other and moving off each other. That dynamic, that partnership between the four of them was very, very good today.
I think the dogs want one more. Can T2 deliver? Farfan leaves the ball behind, unfortunately. Tavares happy to clean it up. Final 30 seconds at the discretion of Alejandro Mariscal. T2 just one home match left after today. Have to go out on the road for 4 of the final 5. As Tuiloma sticks a foot in, deflects it away from Gamble, who's able to recollect and get it to Tavares here in the near corner. Tavares defended by Tuiloma, who gives up the corner kick.
Tuiloma's had a strong game today, and I've really liked the fact that he's been able to spray balls in possession, and really good job just making sure everything's been nice and compact. And certainly getting that first goal was a big time goal for this T2 squad.
Cross comes in, headed away by Espria, and there is the final whistle. T2 equal the largest margin of victory in a match in their history. Done it 2 other times, 4-goal wins. They do it here today. against Tulsa Roughnecks FC and moved to 15-11-3 on the season. Now 48 points. Still remain in 5th place, but close the margin just a little bit further with a team in front of them. As you see, the updated standings, both Swope Park and Portland Timbers 2-1 today. So they both pick up 3 points. Now Portland just 1 point back of Sacramento Republic for that coveted 4th playoff spot.
Yeah, and if you look at the table right now, it's there for them. They could run the table if they really go for it in these final 5 games, and they can really push that top of the pack, and they could end up as high as 1st, and obviously end up a little bit lower, just depending on how their performances go.
They're performing well. We saw an incredible performance from this T2 side today. Controlled things from the beginning, and in the 12th minute, it was Bill Tuiloma who opened his USL account here in 2018.
And the technique on the header there, just to get that ball down one time, bam, just like that. No chance for Gentry. A nice ball there in from Loria as well.
12 minutes later, it was the assist man on Tuiloma's goal that found the back of the net.
Yeah, and you see here Jack Barmy with a little bit of a hold-up play. Nice overlap there from Farfan, who gets the ball between the defender's legs, and Loria, just the right place at the right time. That's what you want your number 10 to do. Take up a nice spot in the middle of the box. Boom, hits that ball, keeps it low in between Gentry's legs. Nice goal.
It seemed as though Tulsa was ready to go to the break. 45+2. It was Jack Barmby.
A nice looping ball over the top there from Smith, and Barmy just looking like he's going to cross it here, but nope. We're going to go ahead and slot it there near post for that 3rd goal. And that really was the dagger, I think, for this game against Tulsa. Just put this one to bed at the end of that 1st half.
Portland had a couple opportunities in the early stages of the 2nd half, couldn't find the back of the net, but then it was Victor Arboleda who picked up his 2nd goal in as many matches.
The Colombian connection here, Espria playing that ball wide to Arboleda, who I thought he might have taken a little bit too much time on this cutback, but gets very fortunate, cuts it back, puts it on his left foot here, gets a nice deflection there off Jacinho. Goal, 4 goals there for T2. A nice way to finish off the day.
Well, nice way to finish off the weekend as well. There were 4 matches here at Providence Park this weekend. Portland Thorns FC clinched a home playoff spot in the NWSL playoffs on Friday night. The MLS Timbers beat Colorado last night 2-0. You had this result here, 4-0. And then there was some match, Rose City United earlier today, the Police versus the Fire, in which Nat Borchers, my broadcast partner,
we got highlights of this?
We
really?
got highlights. You're back out.
Look at that. Look at those legs, too. How pacey are those? Love that.
Look at this finish.
Fantastic finish there from the number 3, who was running up and down all game. And look at the celebration, the victory, the feeling of 3 points against the Police. What a wonderful day for the Fire versus Police. So much fun to be a part of that with Jack Dewsbury.
And what was this, the 4th consecutive win for the Fire?
Fifth consecutive. Let's get
win
that right,
for Fire, yeah. Got to get those numbers right for sure. All right, well, congratulations to you. The next home match for T2, October 3rd. That's a Wednesday night at Merlo Field, 7 p.m. against Reno 1868. We'll certainly know a lot more about where Portland stands in the standings, as that will be the penultimate match of the season on October 3rd, once again against Reno 1868 FC. Well, the goals today from Bill Tuiloma, Marvin Loria, Jack Barmby, and Victor Arboleda, and one of the most complete performances of the year from T2. 4-0 it finishes over the visiting Tulsa Roughnecks FC, and Portland back out on the road against Las Vegas Lights a week from today, 8 p.m. kick, as they make that final push for the playoffs. For our entire broadcast team, my broadcast partner Nat Borchers, I'm Fletcher Johnson. We'll talk to you next time here from Portland.